Hello everyone and welcome to a new segment on my social media channels I'm calling Michael's Global Sports Social. If you can think of a better name, please do suggest it to me. I'm all ears. Just stick it in the comments. So it's been about 2 years since I stopped covering Norwich City Football Club on a regular basis, stroke at all. And I've been trying to work out what to do with my social media platforms, short of just leaving them alone, which is tempting most of the time. And this is what I've come up with. A regular, daily, if I'm not off, video segment of maybe up to 10 minutes, although I'm not very good with deadlines. And in those 10 minutes, or less, fewer, I plan to talk about maybe top 3, top 5 sporting stories of the last day or so that I've been enjoying or covering, giving you my views, maybe some insights if you're really lucky, as well as taking your comments and questions on what you're seeing, what I'm missing, the fact you disagree with me or correct me. I'm open to it all, to be honest. And then there should also be room to take you behind the scenes as to what I'm doing each day with the Athletic, where I'm going, what's on the agenda, what I'm looking out for, all that sort of stuff too. And I can also share with you what I'm reading on the Athletic, the brilliant work of my colleagues. You can even ask me about Norwich City if you want. Just appreciate that I'm in Australia now and I'm not in the loop, so don't expect the same level of insight as you used to get, but you might get some opinions. Opinions are always good, aren't they? But yeah, if it works, we could do these live. We could have some live interaction. We could get some guests on, do some power rankings. Could be quite fun. Now, this isn't 2008, and in this beautifully polished professional era of social media and video content, all enhanced by AI, I really do want these segments to be an embarrassment to all those facts. Like, it's going to be me walking down a road on some cabled headphones with an iPhone. Maybe I'll be in a room sometimes. It doesn't need to be polished, it can be raw. And this will be raw. It's going to be a connection. We can all have a chat about all the world's sports together. I just think that's brilliant. And yeah, you know what? I appreciate it might not be for everyone. It might not be for anyone. But I plan to, and we are going to have fun, or I am, finding out. Let me start with NBA basketball, because this morning I was covering the NBA Finals, Game 4, with my colleagues at The Athletic. It's a crazy sport to cover with our live coverage because we've got so many contributors and reporters at the game and people offering insight. It's amazing. It's a wild ride throughout a game. I thoroughly recommend you follow it. It's nuts to edit and keep on top of. Michael Charles did a brilliant job for us of calling the plays as well. I honestly just did not see OKC winning it. In terms of Game 4, I thought the way that the Pacers nicked Game 2, Tyrese Haliburton has been sensational in terms of clutch time throughout these playoffs. And OKC felt like a team who have had a phenomenal year built on getting ahead and keeping the hammer down. But in such a finely balanced series, you kind of wondered if the Pacers and the fact that they have this ability to nick a game in the last few minutes by just simply hanging in there, that might actually be enough to win the finals. So for OKC to kind of turn that on its head, Gilgeous-Alexander was just sublime and at his smooth best in taking the fourth quarter away from Indiana. And he didn't really seem to know how to deal with that, but people with much better basketball eyes than me will know exactly why that was. But it's a phenomenal series. I'm surprised to a degree maybe that there seem to have been complaints in the US about it because they're quite small markets and teams that maybe there isn't the general excitement about it. And I kind of get that. That happens in all kinds of sports. People want to see the biggest names coming up against each other. But you've got two brilliant basketball teams here. One who has been the team of the year by far anyway, and the team of the season. And the other plays a style of basketball that is different to most other teams. And it's such a contrast here that I thought SGA summed it up really well after the game where he said, look, it's two styles that are really trying to impose themselves on a game. And so it's just a battle of wills, basically. And that's what it should all be about. So yeah, thoroughly enjoying the NBA. And we get a Game 5. I am working on Game 5 as well. I'm going to have to try and shoehorn my way into Game 7 at this rate. But if it goes that far. Number 2 is an event that I'm not actually watching, but I know it's in the background because it's the World Test Cricket Final. I've not seen any of it. But I'm conscious that Australia are in the final and are losing, and I think South Africa may tee that all up today. I found it quite interesting that there doesn't seem to have been that much coverage of it here, but maybe I've just not been looking out for it, so I'm going to have to start looking out for it. But I imagine some of you guys are probably bigger cricket fans than me, and it's taking place at Lord's, isn't it? So it's in the UK. So yeah, let me know what you're thinking about that and what I should be observing from the cricket and whether I should be giving Australian stick, bearing in mind we've got an Ashes series coming up, and I do probably need to try and get some tickets for the test at Optus Stadium in Perth, so that's on my agenda. And thirdly, the other thing I wanted to mention, which is not particularly relevant to the last 24 hours, but can I just say that the French Open was a fabulous Grand Slam. I covered quite a bit of it with The Athletic, and our tennis guys did a great job of providing so much insight during the Grand Slam. But it is a brilliant Grand Slam, and I guess from when you're in the UK, you sort of see everything as inferior to Wimbledon because it's Wimbledon. But slightly stuffy attitude, really, and there's nothing quite like. I mean, both the French Open and Wimbledon are unique because of the surface and what it does to matches and how specialised you have to be in being able to play on that. But there's almost, I've never escaped the fact that on grass, if you kind of serve volley, you're probably going to be good at it. Whereas the clay, you can be so creative because of what the ball does when it hits the surface. And honestly, that final between Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz, I was tired after 40 minutes of highlights, never mind watching about 12 hours of whatever the final was. And then you had Coco Gauff winning the women's singles, which was equally a brilliant final. They were both so competitive, and the storylines being teed up in tennis at the moment are fabulous. We're going to be in for a real treat at Wimbledon, I think, which I'm looking forward to. I'm actually coming back for 2 weeks to the UK in July, so I will be on UK time for Wimbledon, which will help my sleep. I'm very excited about that. So that's all the stuff that's gone, but obviously there might be stuff that you've watched that you're very more excited. Maybe you watched England, Senegal, and you're desperate to talk to me about that. Pop in a comment, send a message. I'll have to come up with an email address or something. There'll be better ways to contact me. Again, ideas. It's a work in progress. We're working on this together, he says. So yeah, let me know. I'd like to hear your thoughts on what you're watching, what I should be looking out for as well. I am aware that the Tour de France is coming up, and that's particularly exciting as well. As for the events coming up, well, if I look at my little list here, we've got the US Open Golf, which I am covering for the next 2 days, towards the end of the days anyway. I've got to sleep before that. So that should be fun, although the leaderboard looks a bit rank at the moment. So we've got moving day coming up, and it'll be interesting to see who actually can move. I put it on this morning here, so at the end of the second rounds at Oakmont, and oh my god, the weather was rank. I would have walked off that course. I would have had enough. So fair play to the guys who had to finish that up. But yeah, hopefully moving day will lead to a nicer, more intriguing leaderboard come the final rounds. Although I admit now I'm sounding like a basketball fan who's complaining about the lack of big teams in the NBA finals, so I'm already contradicting myself. I do normally cover Formula One weekends for The Athletic. I'm not doing this one because of all the other sports we've got on, so I've got to try and catch a hold of the Canadian Grand Prix, which is at a strange time, I think, for where I am anyway. But that will be really interesting given the shenanigans of Spain and Max Verstappen deciding just to drive into George Russell. So there's some fabulous stuff bubbling away in F1 at the moment. So I look forward to catching up on what happens in Canada. And something I'm personally very excited about, very shortly I am off to the AFL. Now this is the football, but this is not the football. We have to have 3 types of football in our house now. We've got the American football, which is NFL. We've got the football, which is soccer. And we've got the footy, which is Aussie Rules or AFL. It's a passion of mine for about 2 years. I absolutely love it, and I love following it and getting stuck into it. And we are off to watch the Fremantle Dockers for the first time. Never seen the Dockers play. One of 2 teams here in Perth. I'm really excited about it. And they are playing North Melbourne, who are at home in that they sold their home games because they need the money, and so now it's being played in Perth. I do plan to do a bit more AFL stuff. I don't know how or what or where, but I will do it. And if you follow AFL, or if you're Australian, or if you enjoy it, then talk to me about it, because I would talk to anyone about it. And if you're not, and you fancy having a look and getting involved, then do it, because it's a crazy, nuts, brilliant sport in so many ways. And maybe it will deserve its own channel. I'm already working up my abrit of AFL, so you might get that if you're lucky. Again, might not be for everyone. So yes, I'll let you know what it's like at Optus Stadium in the next video I do, and how it goes. I thoroughly expect Freo to win. I'm looking forward to watching Caleb Sarong and Andy Brayshaw in the flesh. Of course, and Nick Jackson too. And with that, I've almost certainly exceeded my 10-minute budget on this first video. Expect more of that. But it's been fun. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it finds a way into your routine of sports. Please feedback, send your messages, tell me your thoughts, your comments, the sports you're loving. Let's have a conversation. We can talk about it all on the next video, which might be tomorrow, it might be in a day's time, should be tomorrow. I am working tomorrow on the US Open Golf. But yeah, in the meantime, enjoy the sport, look after yourselves, and I will see you very soon. And I will leave you with the Australian skyline, because it's 99% of the time absolutely stunning. There you go.